A new era is upon us. Tangent Proptech unites founders, real estate and VC investors, urban leaders, and passionate creators who are improving our communities and cities. Join venture capitalists Jeffrey Berman and Zach Aarons and Proptech entrepreneur Edward Cohen, that's me, to learn about housing innovation, the future of work, and climate tech. We examine these themes through interviews and conversations with Proptech CEOs, real estate owners and operators, and venture investors, and how we can leverage tech and collaboration to help solve the housing crisis, figure out the future of work, and how to decarbonize the built environment. If you would like to get your company's or organization's mission featured on Tangent, email us at tangentcommunity@gmail.com. Hi, I'm Edward Cohen. Welcome to Tangent. Today I'm joined by Yannick Sinner's private chef that has him absolutely cooking, Zach Aarons.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back here again. I will do my best today to channel Jeffrey Berman as well. He's hitting the grass courts currently in Newport, so can't make it.
Some may say they're the same person. Have we ever seen Zach and Jeff in the same place physically? Anyway, today on Tangent, we have Bryce Nyberg, head of Proptech and FinTech at Berkadia's BeEngaged, helping startups that are destined to redefine the commercial real estate space. Hi, Bryce. Where does this podcast find you?
Hey, Edward. It's good to connect with you. I am just outside of Salt Lake City today.
Salt Lake City, my beloved stomping ground during COVID. I'd pay everything right now to be sitting on Ensign Peak with some goodly cookies and just enjoying the valley views. Jealous of you.
I love that. You're welcome anytime. Let's connect up at the peak next time you're in the state.
Best skiing destination. For those who aren't familiar, tell us, Bryce, what's Berkadia and what inspired you and your team to launch the BeEngaged program?
A little bit about Berkadia. Berkadia is a joint venture between Berkshire, Hathaway, and Jefferies Financial. We are a lender, an investment sales advisor, and a servicer. So we provide those main business lines to our customers. A lot of what we do is work with real estate investors that are looking to recapitalize properties that they own in their portfolio. We'll also help them sell assets that they're looking to dispose of. Our servicing book has been aimed at trying to maintain our own servicing rights, but also do some white label servicing for other lenders in the industry. As far as the BeEngaged program, it fits within Berkadia's corporate development group. So I lead corporate development at Berkadia and oversee the BeEngaged program. It's Berkadia's startup accelerator. We've been working with startups from across the commercial real estate space to offer mentorship from Berkadia and bring together an ecosystem of Berkadia's clients, Berkadia's partners, and these entrepreneurs that we're looking to support.
Super interesting. And with Berkadia being not only an industry leader across investment sales, mortgage banking, and servicing, but also being the number one Freddie Mac and HUD lender for low-income housing and the number one Fannie Mae lender for multifamily affordable housing, I'm curious, are those areas of innovations that you're focusing on at Berkadia's BeEngaged program, or what areas of real estate innovation are you focusing on at the program?
Yeah, you're touching on areas that we care deeply about, right? The goal of the BeEngaged program is to connect the dots across the needs and wants of both Berkadia and all the partners that we bring to our program. So we look across Berkadia and say, what are the goals and objectives of the organization? How can we find good tech that might support us in reaching those goals? And same goes for our partners, right? We're talking a lot with the partners that we have that join us in quarterly events. That includes our friends at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So across the GSEs, we have partnerships. They're, of course, looking for interesting things and looking for structured partnerships, given certain mandates that they're handed down. And so we look to try to provide them solutions when they have mandates that they're looking to meet. And we'll do the same for our clients, right? We spend quite a bit of time with real estate investors, understanding what they've already done to innovate within their own organizations and say, what are your challenges that you're facing now? What gaps do you see in your technology or your operations that we might be able to provide a solution for? And we'll work with them, use all of those inputs from across Berkadia, from across the partners and GSEs and clients as inputs for what kind of startups we should be looking to bring into the BeEngaged program.
Super interesting. Zach, From the investor seat, what key elements or metrics do you look for when evaluating, startups that may be ready for programs such as BeEngaged?
Yeah, thank you. So most of the time, if you want to be in a program like that, from my understanding of it, you should be post-product, but really pre-product traction or pre-product market fit. I think executives from Bryce's firm, they're going to help you navigate the industry in a way you might not be familiar with. You might be coming from a tech background or a pure play financial services background, but the mortgage industry, the investment sales industry as it relates to real estate still remains arcane, remains opaque, difficult to penetrate. But it's more about taking a company from 1 to 10 than it is from 0 to 1. I think if you just have an idea, something you're noodling on, before you've written any lines of code, before you've met with any potential customers, whether you're selling to servicers, selling to sub-servicers, trying to replace sub-servicers with your product, originators, anywhere within the mortgage ecosystem, people tend to not pay attention to you until you have a tactile product that you can show. It can still look a little janky. If it has promise, people will believe in it. There's a tremendous amount of innovation, especially given the wave of generative AI that's sort of sweeping the industry right now. There's a tremendous opportunity for innovation in the mortgage business, both origination and servicing. But it's very challenging to get people's attention unless you show that you put in the time on your own to investigate a little bit about the pain points in the industry, determine what your initial perceived value prop is, and then written a few lines of code and at least built a minimum viable product.
Thank you. Bryce, what's the process for curating and evaluating startups and founders for the program?
Zach did a good job of touching on a core part of it, right? We want to understand that the entrepreneur that we're talking to represents a product or a service that can go to market, or at least go to market pretty soon. We want to be able to get a demo of that and feel like there is something real that we can experiment with and try. So that's one of the criterias for us, right? We think we can add the most value when there's a product that can go to market that we can help scale with the ecosystem of the BeEngaged program, right? It's really about connecting with others across the industry, driving sales for these entrepreneurs through our large network across the US. But in addition to kind of hitting that kind of basic first check, there's areas that we care more about, right? So we have target segments that we've identified. There's nothing secret in them. They just align really well with our own goals for Berkadia and our clients' goals broadly. So a few of the things that we screen for is, does this fit into one of these target segments? We care about unique data capture. Machine learning and AI has been a category that we've cared about, frankly, for years. Generative AI has just accelerated that interest. We have seen a few things that will support investment sales technology. Of course, that matters to Berkadia, but it also matters to clients that we're trying to sell their properties for. Can we do that in the most effective way, the lowest kind of pain for the client to get it done? And can we delight our clients along the way with good technology in the mix of how we run our investment sales business? We look for that. We have clients that are looking for tools that can deploy at the property level and help them better manage their assets and drive efficiency, create new channels for revenue, reduce costs at the property level. All of those things matter. Our servicing book is a big part of our business. We don't see, frankly, a ton of tools that really serve servicers really well. And we'd love to. So we're always keeping our eye open for tools that will work with what we try to deliver on the servicing side of our business. Asset management, maybe closer to that property management category that I mentioned. Lending technology broadly, right? Anything that would help us deliver on our goals to provide really good solutions. We're not blind to the fact that debt can feel like a commodity in a lot of ways. So how can Berkadia provide exceptional service to our clients, something that makes them want to come back and work with Berkadia? We care a lot about those things that at least claim to offer some value there. And then last is underwriting, right? Underwriting's core to operations at Berkadia. It happens within servicing. It happens within investment sales and mortgage banking. Our clients are also doing underwriting. Everyone across the commercial real estate industry is doing some form of underwriting.
To your point of that becoming a commodity in certain sectors, and it seems like the timing for a program like yours could not have been at a better moment for founders and industry players alike, just as we're starting to implement not just new approaches for underwriting Proptech solutions, but also how we fund and structure real estate startups and how we ultimately assess the viability of innovation in our industry by providing them with an ecosystem that enables startups to receive direct feedback from some of the largest active players in our industry who can in turn also shape roadmaps. I mean, that seems like win-win and win.
That's our hope, really, right? And we've been doing some form of this for a number of years at Berkadia. The BeEngaged program just really puts some structure around how we think about it, and I think maximizes what we can do for the entrepreneurs and hopefully for the industry at large in providing a service and an ecosystem that connects the dots between entrepreneurs that are building great things and those groups that would benefit from those tools, right? Whether it's an organization like Berkadia or it's a real estate investment platform that's looking to optimize their portfolio. We want to bring those pieces together and see this industry improve because of it.
And going back to the timing that we're seeing, innovation in our industry and in terms of adoption, Zach, please, for those in the back, how is real estate evolved in terms of tech adoption? Are we still lagging our sister industries?
Not anymore. We're about to drop white paper on specifically LLMs and their extraordinarily rapid adoption across the real estate ecosystem, commercial real estate, multifamily real estate, lending within real estate. When I was starting my career in pretty much every single software adoption category, real estate and construction, we were at the bottom. Now we have leapfrogged as it relates to some of these new models. It's really exciting to see. We're up there now with other software companies, with industries that are typically more willing to experiment with new technologies. We're no longer down in the doldrums with government and other sort of slow to move laggards. We're leading the charge. If you listen to any earnings call this next quarter for publicly traded real estate investment trusts, you'll hear their executives not just talk about the promise of generative AI in their practices, but the actual implementation of these tools. I think there are a few things driving that. One factor that drives it is there's just a lot of professional churn within the real estate section. I've mentioned it before, but you don't often call your lender or your property manager to wish them a happy Easter and tell them everything, they're doing a great job. Usually tell them things are going wrong, they've screwed something up. And so because of those dynamics, there tends to be a lot of professional churn. And when you couple professional churn with a very strained labor pool to begin with, of skilled people within these trades, I'm not just talking about the construction trades, but across real estate in general, you get a necessity for augmenting human beings and human capital with some of these really powerful machines. So I urge everybody just to plug our white paper when it comes out in a couple weeks. But we did extensive interviews with people in the industry, and we tried to poke holes in what they were saying. 2 years ago, everybody in real estate was really excited about the metaverse. They were tracking the metaverse. They were excited about crypto. They were tracking crypto. This is very different. They're not just excited about using these LLMs and GPT interfaces. They are actively implementing them, and they're looking to do more. There's obviously a balance, and everybody has their own risk tolerance with respect to augmenting their workforce with these tools. But in respect to past technologies, we've seen a lot of, oh, we tried that. We didn't get a lot of value out of it. So we're going to go back to the carbon paper. In this case, it's we tried it. We set up very specific guardrails and guidelines for how to use it. And now we just want to do more with it. We want to take what we've done in, say, leasing and move it to our acquisitions underwriting department. Or we want to take it, what we were doing in origination, and we want to move it into our servicing department. We're seeing that pretty much across the board, and it's extraordinarily exciting. It's frankly shocking. I thought I would be long in my grave before the real estate industry was at the top of the league tables in terms of new software adoption.
Support for this episode comes from Berkadia's BeEngaged, where real estate meets entrepreneurship. Imagine an ecosystem of founders, industry professionals, and capital providers dedicated to redefining the real estate space. Berkadia's BeEngaged program enables Proptech founders to pilot the most promising technologies and gain insights directly from industry insiders. Berkadia's BeEngaged evaluates the most promising real estate startups to identify solutions based on real pain points from its clients, partners, and the built environment. Founders gain access to Berkadia's deep expertise and to some of the largest real estate companies and industry partners like Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. The BeEngaged Lab provides a collaborative world where startups, industry leaders, and capital providers come together to test real-world applications. And with the BeEngaged network, you're not just observing innovation, you're part of it, gaining access to cutting-edge technology and mentorship that can drive your business forward. Clients can pilot these cutting-edge technologies in a low-risk environment, providing feedback that directly influences startup roadmaps. It's not just innovation for the sake of it. It's innovation built around solving real estate's biggest challenges. Ready to take your impact to the next level? Head to berkadia.com/beengaged and join a community that's shaping the next wave of real estate technology. That's berkadia.com/beengaged. Bryce, let's talk about program participants and examples that either are in the program or have gone through Berkadia's BeEngaged. Esusu came out when I researched you guys, and Esusu, the rent reporting to credit bureaus. How did that came to be? And could you share how the relationship developed through the BeEngaged lab and the impact it's had?
Happy to. So Esusu was interesting. We spotted them, and I think fairly early in their ambitions, and thought these were really smart founders tackling a challenge, I guess, that we had come to understand from talking with our network of partners and clients, that there was more to do in this space, right? The Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had both expressed an interest in finding ways to better support renters and renter wealth creation. It was a mandate that they knew they wanted to make good on. And we had been talking to Esusu and thought there's something in this interplay that we should explore with the GSEs. And we were one of many advisors to Esusu, and we're happy that we were able to offer them some value, but certainly we helped them get some early introductions to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Those introductions they ran with and did an exceptional job of talking about their product and the value proposition they wanted to bring to market. But it led to a great partnership with the GSEs that's still going today. SUSE has been able to drive the adoption of their platform pretty heavily with those partnerships that helped them raise a significant amount of capital, hit that unicorn status. So it's been a good thing for those founders, and I think we're glad to have been a part of brokering some of those introductions that led to pretty outsized benefits for that entrepreneurial group. We think we can replicate it, not always on the same scale, but we certainly think that the benefit of the BeEngaged program is the network effects that come from it, and that's just a prime example of it for sure.
Absolutely. Esusu went on to raise, I think, was $130 million from SoftBank. In terms of participants, I want to give a shout out to Dennis Lee and Ryan Kang at Market Stadium. Check out their real estate data and analytics platform, and Will Mitchell from Rabbet, another friend of Tangent. Bryce, let's talk about the housing crisis and the role of affordability plays within Berkadia's BeEngaged priorities. Most recent data suggests that over 21 million households were classified as rent burden, meaning they spend at least 30% of their income or more towards housing costs. And half of those residents are spending 50% or more of their income every month on housing. So how do you incorporate a focus on the affordable housing crisis, and talk about how mission-driven lending and ESG initiatives take part in BeEngaged overall goals?
I'd say first, I'm proud to be part of an organization like Berkadia that's had a good focus and a good emphasis on affordable housing and even housing development, and trying to figure out how do we provide goodwill to this industry, right? We want the whole US to be a viable market for renters and owners and operators of real estate. And so how do we contribute to that? We think it's through our affordable lending practice. We think it's through our programs that we've developed with partners to launch new properties, right? Develop new properties and provide more housing to the industry. Because Berkadia cares about affordable housing, mission-based lending, and new development, we can incorporate those same goals and ambitions into the BeEngaged program and look for tools that also have a mission-based component to them. We found quite a few. Esusu was one example, but we've dabbled in both renter wealth creation tools. We have a company called Stake in our program that's providing cash back to renters, and we think that that can have a positive impact on wealth creation and help bank the unbanked. We also have another platform that is more environmentally focused called Embue, and they're providing HVAC management to the multifamily space. It's a great way to think about how do we reduce the carbon footprint of properties as well. So this whole concept of housing and the housing shortage, we are doing our best to address it with Berkadia's platform, but use all of the tools at our disposal, the BeEngaged program and our network of startup partners and our ecosystem around us to see how we can have a positive impact on the market at large.
We're grateful to our partners at CREtech, the premier destination for real estate tech and innovation. On November 13th and 14th in New York City, CREtech will bring together the largest gathering of commercial real estate professionals, investors, and innovators. This event is your front row seat to the future of real estate. From emerging Proptech trends to the latest in sustainability and ESG solutions, CREtech is where industry leaders converge to explore the tech reshaping real estate. Whether it's smart buildings, data analytics, or AI-driven property management, you'll find the cutting-edge solutions you need to stay ahead. This year, expect to share the room with some of the biggest names you never thought you'd meet, including owners, operators, developers, tenants, founders, government, and media. CREtech offers unrivaled networking opportunities with institutional players who are driving innovation in the CRE space. Connect with decision makers from the biggest companies, explore groundbreaking products, and gain insights from industry leaders on how technology is transforming how we buy, sell, manage, and build real estate. Don't miss your chance to be part of shaping the future. Head to CREtech.com and use code PARTNERTANGENT20 to sign up for this must-attend event on November 13th and 14th in New York City. Tangent listeners get a 20% off by using partner Tangent 20 when you check out at CREtech.com. I want to ask Zach and Bryce, about the role of collaboration, right? What role does it play in scaling this program's ecosystem, but real estate technologies ecosystem as a whole to create value for founders, clients, capital providers, the public sector? How do you see collaboration playing a role there, and how do you foster it?
Jack, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think collaboration's essential. An email from Evan Pettit, our director of portfolio management at Metaprop, just went out this morning mentioning the recent, just this quarter, collaborations that have happened between our portfolio companies. And we have 150 portfolio companies. That might seem like a lot, but in the context of 10,000 global prop tech companies, it's really just a drop in the bucket. So I believe without collaboration, API integration, data sharing arrangements, cross-selling, this industry is not going to grow and reach the scale that we all want it to. We see all the time companies selling adjacent but non-competitive products to the same exact buyer, the leasing manager, the property manager at multifamily company X, and more, hopefully through initiatives like our accelerator and Berkadia's accelerator programs, they're able to find each other quicker, engage with each other, sign these agreements. And then we're seeing an explosion of API data integrations or functionality integrations. Startups realize with constrained talent and resources and time, they can't build the killer app for every single subsector and every single category. And if somebody has really high fidelity, quality data, for example, it doesn't really make sense to try to build a data engine, data collection engine, data scrubbing engine themselves. If they say have a workflow management software product, they're much better off integrating the data that's coming from another source into their platform. That just strengthens and buttresses their platform and makes it a stickier, sale to the end customer, to the real estate professional. I think what worries me about the recent RealPage litigation is that it might stymie that in the near term. It might make people more hesitant, not only on the customer side, to share their data with Proptech companies, even if that data is getting anonymized, but it might harm in the short term collaboration and integration between Proptech companies. So we're watching that very closely, and we hope it doesn't, because it's truly the bedrock upon which we're building our practice. And part of the reason why Proptech founders approach Metaprop for financing instead of a generalist is not only do we have real estate relationships on the customer side, but we also have potential integration and data share partners on the startup side that we can put them in front of and try to grease the wheels to serve as the catalyst for one of those types of deals.
To Zach's earlier point about collaboration between entrepreneurs and startups, that's a big benefit, I think, of a program like BeEngaged, but also Metaprop's accelerator is bringing entrepreneurs together, finding ways to approach the market uniquely with a partnership. Even this morning, I was on the call talking to one of our portfolio companies about connecting the dots between them and another company in the BeEngaged program and how we could position them to both succeed by going to market together. So I think those are great opportunities that we can't ignore. And I agree that those are essential for optimizing for success, not just for the entrepreneurs, but for real estate investors. I think will benefit from collaboration and connected systems that work well together, and entrepreneurs that are bringing solutions that look more holistic to a real estate owner and operator that's trying to find ways to minimize the sprawl of logins that they have to have their team work on. If there's ways to reduce that because there's a good partnership in place, all the better.
Yeah.
And then as far as collaboration goes outside of that, I don't think the BeEngaged program works effectively without great collaboration from and inside of our organization, but also with those clients and partners that are telling us what they care about, what they need, and they work with us to run experiments with the entrepreneurs that we bring into the program. They bring great products to bear, but we want to prove those out and find ways to test those solutions with our ecosystem. And so the ecosystem is collaborating on these experiments in a way that makes it possible to get results out that can be shared with the broader community, right? You test the platforms out, you get great results, and now you can evangelize that more authentically that, hey, these tools work. We've seen the outcomes of them. None of that could be possible without some cross collaboration or cross organization collaboration as well. So super key to how our program operates. And it's a big part of what we think will move the needle for the entrepreneurs that are looking to grow their companies.
And in the smoothest segue in history, collaboration superpower, Bryce and Zach, if you want. If you could choose one person, historic or living, to do a partnership with, who would it be?
I'll say being a part of an organization like Berkadia, that's a Berkshire, Hathaway, and Jefferies financial company, we get the benefit, some of the halo effects of being alongside some really smart individuals. But, if I could one-on-one collaborate with Warren Buffett, I'd be a very happy and much more educated guy for doing it. So I think that'd be great.
How many weekly one-on-ones do you have with Warren?
Oh, I couldn't claim any, unfortunately. I would love to say I could, but a few senior guys get those calls.
I know for a fact he listens to this podcast religiously. And so, Warren, you have this great guy at one of your portfolio companies. He wants to collaborate with you. You just hit $1 trillion in market cap. Let's make it happen.
The word's out. The word's out.
Not sure what he's waiting for, honestly. Zach, collaboration superpower, please enlighten us.
Edward, I've been spending all summer playing tennis in order to channel this collaboration superpower. She is the best coach that no one outside the tennis world has heard of. Her name is Yelena, or was. She unfortunately passed away a few years ago. Her name was Yelena Jencic, and she started coaching in what was the former Yugoslavia. And her two proteges were none other than Monica Seles on the women's side and Goran Ivanisevic on the men's side. Monica ended up moving to the US and hiring Nick Bollettieri. Goran went on to win Wimbledon. Monica, I think, won 8 Grand Slam titles and could have won many more had she not had the unfortunate stabbing incident. But she didn't stop there. Once Yugoslavia disbanded, she was a resident and citizen of Serbia. And she found in a random ski town in Serbia a small boy who was working in his parents' restaurant named Novak Djokovic. And she began to coach Novak. And keep in mind, she was coaching him in the middle of a war. So they were struggling to find places to practice. There were literally bombs going off in Serbia at the time when she was coaching him. She trained him to be exactly like Monica Seles, to eat what she ate, to listen to the same classical music she would listen to get ready for matches. And when Novak won his first Wimbledon title, he actually brought the trophy. She was ailing in a hospice facility in Belgrade, and he brought it back and he gave her the trophy as a token of his appreciation. If you ever get the chance to go on YouTube and watch him talk about her, it's really beautiful. So she's coached players who've won, I think, 32, 33 combined Grand Slams, multiple Olympic gold medals, but not really known outside the tennis world. So hopefully for our billions of listeners globally, they will now know who Jelena Jančić was.
Wow. Unsung hero of Novak Djokovic's career and other great tennis stars. Thank you, Zach. Bryce. Where can Tangent listeners learn more about Berkadia's BeEngaged and connect with you?
The best way is going to berkadia.com/BeEngaged. One word, BeEngaged.
If you like what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review Tangent, and share the show with a friend. This episode is produced by me, Edward Cohen. Thanks for listening to Tangent Proptech, and remember, collaboration is our superpower, so stay curious and always be learning.